On this episode of Honeydew for Dummies, blacking out chrome. So I experimented with a couple of different ways of blacking out chrome. I think the official way and the correct way to do it is going to be to actually strip all of the chrome off and then repaint the metal. I don't have the tools to do that in a way that I think would work well enough to happen, especially on the more intricate chrome parts. I just don't think I can get a grinding wheel or some sandpaper in there enough to actually grind the metal away. So what I did is I bought some different stuff and experimented on some spare pieces of chrome that nobody's ever going to see, like my luggage rack bracers, and this is what I found that worked. To do this, I'm going to use four things: a green Scotch-Brite pad, wax and tar remover, an adhesion promoter, and then the actual paint. Now, the reason for all this: the green Scotch-Brite pad is going to scuff up the surface of the chrome so that the paint has something to grab and adhere to, or else it'll just flake off. The adhesion promoter is to help, again, give the paint something to bond to on the very smooth chrome, even after I scuff it up with the green Scotch-Brite. The paint I chose to use is just matte black roll bar and chassis paint. It's rated up to 250 degrees, and it's pretty abrasion resistant because it is meant to be used on the chassis once it cures and dries fully. So this isn't going to be used on any high heat things, so obviously the exhaust isn't going to get blacked out. But engine covers, the chain guard, and anything else like that I'm going to use this paint on. And then the wax and tar remover I use, actually before I put any of the spray stuff on, just to get as much stuff that will prevent the adhesion of the paint off of the surface. So I wipe it down with this, wipe it down with a paper towel, make sure it's dry, then put on the adhesion promoter, then put on the paint. So as you can see, here's the chrome pieces inside of the bike. You can see the chain guard, which is what I took off, and that's what I'm going to paint today. Eventually, I'll do the rest of it. What I did is I took the chrome piece and the green Scotch-Brite pad, and you can see half and half. The top half I scuffed up, and it's pretty dull, and the bottom half I did not, so you can see the difference. So that is the level that I got this scuff to, and I got every nook, every cranny, and I did that before I put the adhesion promoter on. This is what the piece looks like when it was all the way scuffed up. Like I said, I got in all the holes, I got all the way around it. Everything I wanted to paint was scuffed up. So I took the wax and tar remover and wiped it on, then dried it off. This first coat is the adhesion promoter. I did a pretty heavy coat and let it dry for about 10 minutes, so that's called a wet coat, so it wasn't all the way dry, it was still tacky. This next coat I did was a super light base coat of the black paint after I did a wet coat of the adhesion promoter. The reason for this is I don't want any runs of the paint on the metal because it's not going to bond as well, so you can see just a really light misting of that black paint. And then I went through and did 5 coats of full coverage black paint. Notice as I am painting this, I can get all the way around without having to touch it. That's a big deal because you don't want to have fingerprints or things where you set it down and marks on it. There's a YouTube channel, and I'll link it below, called Custom Spray Mods. I think he's an Australian guy. He's got some really great instructionals on how to spray paint. So check that out, and remember that with painting, practice makes perfect. I finally got the finished product of the blacked out chrome piece that I painted. It turned out really good. I was very surprised. So I think between the prep, the adhesion promoter, and the paint, I did like 5 coats of it. I think it really turned out good. So as you can see, it's black. I'll give you a closer up shot. It handles scratches really well. Like I can put my nails on it and scratch it, and it doesn't just mar it all up. It's a kind of matte finish. I really like it. I'm going to throw it back on the bike. I'll put some pictures up and see how it looks. So I found this to work really well. I'll give you a progress update in a couple of weeks after I've driven it and see if it holds up. I don't drive my bike in the rain very often, so I probably won't be able to tell you how it ends up with that, but if I do, I'll be sure to let you know. Please tell me what you think. Have you ever tried to paint chrome before? Any success stories? Any ones that didn't work? I'm going to keep updating you on this. I'm always looking for new and better ways to do it, so please Comment below, let me know what you think. That's all today for Honeydew for Dummies on the budget Bonneville Cafe build. As I go, I'm going to start blacking out more and more of the bike. So for instance, next time I change the oil, I'm going to do the engine cover as well as the clutch cover. I'm probably going to do the headlight bucket as well as a couple other things that are kind of small, just kind of as I go. So once I get all of that blacked out and all that done, I'll be sure to post some pictures. I do have a photo shoot coming up. My wife is a photographer professionally, and she wants to take some pictures of my bike for a project that she's doing, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'll be sure to post those up, and that will be a great progress update for the bike. So thanks for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Anything you think of, anything you want to say, any questions you have, comment, suggestions, I'm always open, and I'll see you next time.